Testing, testing, hello, testing, hello, testing. Okay, I'm hoping that the audio is clear. I hope the streaming has begun. All right then. So let's get the show on the road. And yes. Okay. Hello and welcome. My name is Jay. I'm a coding tutor, and I do this professionally. I'm a freelance tutor. I do coding, I do tutoring and everything. And what I do essentially is, in fact, let me show you instead of just talking about it. I have my second monitor there, so I'll be looking at there every now and then. Sorry about that. Okay then, so I am gonna just go ahead and Google myself here. And that is me. That's me. That's me. That's me as well. That's an old photo though from years ago. So I am a coding tutor. That's what I do. And for a while now, I've been trying to sort of take some free coding sessions. A few years ago, I tried to open a training company where I was gonna do free coding sessions and all that, but that didn't pan out, unfortunately. I figured, okay, I still want to do it, so Twitch might be the option. I considered Zoom, but I figured Twitch is maybe easier, maybe better. Okay. Now today, again, this is just my second session. I tried to do this about 2 years ago. It didn't work out for any number of reasons. So now I'm trying again. So this is like a demo session, and it's also an actual session. So it's a combination of both. So I'm still learning, trying to figure it out, how this works and everything. But hopefully it's not that bad. And again, I have to keep looking that side because that's where I have my, my command center. My second monitor is a little bit far away. I'm limited with desk space here. So I've got to do that once in a while. So sorry about that. Okay then. So today what I want to do is maybe it'll be nice if I grab some PowerPoint. You know what? Hold on. Let me get PowerPoint. Why not? I know PowerPoints are boring, but it doesn't mean we shouldn't use it. For whatever reason, since this morning, Office is not loading properly. I don't know why. So I may have to open PowerPoint directly. And that's not working either. Not sure why. This is disappointing. Come on, Microsoft. I guess this is why people are worried about the whole live session thing. This is not good for my session. I'm feeling a little nervous about this. Okay, so what's going on? Let's see. Did I remove PowerPoint by any chance? This is unfortunate. Now Office is down. I wasn't aware of this. Oh, this is bad. Okay, I can't use PowerPoint then, so I gotta worry about that later. Okay, so what is today's session? So let's try to do this. No, this is a test session though, so it's okay, I goes. Okay, all right. Some technical issues. Oh my God, look at this. Oh, this is bad. They're saying that Microsoft has kind of, oh, this is an ongoing issue. People are talking about it. Oh, this is just bad. Oh, this is crazy bad. Office keeps opening to be a blank screen. Thanks, Microsoft. Thank you very much for whatever it is that you're trying to do here. Okay, must be another way to do this. Hold on. Okay. Okay, at least one drive is still working, so that's good. So I should be able to, okay, there it is, PowerPoint. Hello, okay, so I'm gonna create a blank PowerPoint now, and this is what we are doing. Let's see, pick a theme. What is this? Okay, I like this one. Okay, this is good. And now let me go ahead and save it. Yeah, I'll just show what's happening. Yeah, you can see here the Microsoft is completely, something has gone wrong with PowerPoint. Yeah, apparently it's a known issue or something. See, people are talking about it. So weird. Yeah, this is what is happening to me. Office app is just loading a blank screen. Okay, so we can't use PowerPoint. Okay, we'll use the online version. Okay, all right. That's all right. I'm sure Microsoft is fixing it. It's fine. So let's go ahead and do that. This one should go here to the other monitor. Okay, that's my PowerPoint then. So there it is. Okay, so this is going to be session 1. Just want to make sure that it is. Okay, all right then. So this is going to be session 1, and today I'm trying to do setting up GitHub, okay, VS Code, and then Firefox. Okay, that is what this session is all about. Now the good thing is this computer on which I'm streaming, this is not yet configured for any kind of development purposes. So this is a good way to just show people how to set up GitHub and things like that. So let's do that then. So let's go ahead and duplicate this slide here. It's really unfortunate that today is the day when Microsoft decided to mess things up with PowerPoint. I really was hoping to use it a lot. I know PowerPoints are kind of not cool, but we'll use it. It's okay. It's useful. Okay, first step we want to do is setting up GitHub. Now, obviously, I'm kind of hoping, so let me check my second screen here. I think I've got GitHub already logged in on that, so I'll bring that here. So first step you have to do is, of course, you need to go and get yourself the GitHub account. Oh, hold on, that's still Firefox. Okay, hold on. So first thing, of course, you have to go to github.com and get yourself a GitHub account. Okay, and once you have created an account, whichever way you do it, make sure you put a nice photo, add a small description, give some information about yourself. Okay, oh, and yes, of course, if this is my GitHub account, so if you want to follow me, that'll be really cool. And I have a lot of repositories going on here. I have repositories where I have a lot of code for C#. I have a lot of code for front end, which is what I'm hoping to spend a lot of time in these Twitch sessions. I have a lot of repositories going on. You know, all of them are like open source and free. So please feel free to use them. And yes, if you like any one of them, just hit the star button, like it. It'll really help me. Okay. So I just want to make sure that the screen is coming in. I am coming in. Let me check my other monitor here. Okay, everything looks good. Yes, yes. Okay, so that is all fine. So first step is, yes, you have to get yourself a GitHub account. The next thing is you will have to install a software called Gitbash. Now the nice thing is this is a new computer. This is actually my RTX 3060 computer. I'm very proud of it. It's one of the more expensive computers I have here, especially in India. Graphics cards cost a lot of money, so I'm really, it came back from repairs last week, and for whatever reason I held off on installing Gitbash on this machine, so that's good. So which means now I can do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the Gitbash JIT for Windows. There we go. Okay, that's the one, and we want this. All right, so I'm going to download this. Okay, there it is. Okay, and let's go ahead and run that. Okay, nice. Okay, just click SS yes, no problem. All this is fine. Keep it at default. Everything at default, it's okay. This is also fine. This is also okay. This is also okay. One thing I want to add here is there are some students, usually first timers, they try to mess around with these settings. You know, they change something accidentally, and it's really not a good idea to do that. Okay, because if you leave the defaults on, you get some basic features which you will see once I finish installation, which don't get enabled, and then it's difficult to re-enable them. I'm sure you can Google it, or I use Bing, so you can Bing it and you can find out how to enable certain things. But why do you want to waste your time like that? Leave everything at defaults, please. Okay, and the steps are mostly the same on the Mac as well. I use a Mac occasionally, but for coding, because I work in .NET, it just makes sense that I do everything on Windows. So I prefer to work on Windows. It's just easier, you know, things like streaming and coding. Everything is easier, and it's powerful as well. Like, it's easy to upgrade hard drive. It's easy to upgrade RAM. It's easy to buy accessories on Windows. So I use both. But for coding, especially my situation as a .NET person and a JavaScript person, I want to have the best of both worlds, which means it's Windows for me. So yes. But yes, I use both. I've got Macs, I got iPhones, I got iPads, I got Windows, Android. I use everything, whatever suits the situation at hand. So now it's all done. I kept everything the default. So what I want to do is I want to finish this. Now one thing I want to do once the installation is done is you have to configure it. You have to configure it so it works with your account. Okay, now you install the software. So what I want to do is, let me just pause this a minute here. Okay. Right then. So now this is the next thing I want to talk about. So ideally, what happens is your C drive or your documents and things like that, a lot of times it will have OneDrive enabled, especially on Windows. So I don't recommend you use or keep your Git repositories in documents or anywhere. Not a good idea. So I always recommend that you keep your Git things away from OneDrive. Especially on Windows, this becomes a problem because when you're working on a project, especially when you start doing things like Node.js and .NET projects, you have hundreds and thousands of files. So you can't keep syncing them on OneDrive. It's crazy. It will drive your computer mad and it'll drive your internet mad. You don't want that. So as much as possible, one option is to disable OneDrive on specific folders. That's option number one. But what I recommend is you make sure on your computer you have 2 drives. Okay, and OneDrive doesn't affect other folders, so that's okay. So this is where I am now. I'm in my second drive, very important. So what I'll do is I will create a new folder. I'm just going to call this Git repo or Git repos, repositories. And I will make sure that whatever repositories that I create or use, they end up here. So it's easy to manage, it's easy to delete. Once you start coding, your coding folder grows in size. And you may not be coding on all those files at the same time. So it makes sense that you delete them and everything. And don't worry, everything is backed up on Git anyway. Okay? So now what I want is, I want to first go back to GitHub where I created the account, top right corner, and just create a new repository just to get things working. And what I'll do is I'll call this session 1 Twitch. So I'm going to call this Twitch session 1. Okay. Now this, I'm going to make it private because it's easy to configure your Git account when you have a private repository, because to access it, you definitely need the credentials stored on your computer. So we'll make it private. Okay, description, you don't need it because it's a private thing, but I'll add one anyway. This is a demo repo for session 1 on my Twitch stream. For some reason I can't say Twitch stream, I have to keep saying it Twitch live stream. But then again, aren't all Twitch streams live? Anyway, so I'm gonna add a readme file, very important. I don't have any specific technology right now, but since we're talking about JavaScript, let's make it Node. License doesn't matter, it's okay. So there we go. The key thing here is make it private. And let's create. Okay, now I'm making it private on purpose. The purpose is to go get the whole thing configured. So let's go back to my Git repository. Now here, this is why I mentioned before, when you install Gitbash, make sure you stick it to the defaults. Otherwise, if you go right click, you'll see there's an option called Git GUI and there's an option called Gitbash. Occasionally I've noticed that if you mess around with the default settings, these options won't be there. And you don't want that, please. So let's make sure you use the defaults. If this doesn't come, then yes, you may be able to get it back, but why do you want to mess with it? Keep it default, keep your life easy. So I want to get Gitbash here. And now I will go to my private repository. There's a green button here, copy, right? That gives you the cloning URL. Come back. Now here you can either right click or you can do shift insert. I'm used to shift insert, so but before that you want to type git space clone space insert. Now before I press enter, I just want to go back to my folder. Now there is an option called Git GUI. There's nothing wrong if you feel more comfortable as a first-time learner. I mean, that is what these classes are all about, for first-time learners. So if you prefer a GUI, you can use it. But you are only a beginner now. After a few days or weeks or months, you're no longer a beginner. So I recommend from day one, if possible, make things a little tough on yourself. Use the terminal, please. I don't even know how to use the Git GUI, so there is that. Because I started with terminal, I'm going to stick with terminal. It may look a little weird, the terminal, it looks confusing, maybe even complicated, but it's worth it. And now I'm going to press enter, and it's going to say, hey man, you're not logged in. Ah, there it is. This is another reason why when you're installing Gitbash, you need to keep it to defaults. Otherwise, you may not get this option. So I'm going to say sign in with your browser, which is fine. And that'll open in, there it is. Okay, it's asking me for something. Where is that? Is that on my second computer or third computer? What's going on? Ah, it's already signed in. Okay, there you go. That's it, done. Git is configured. Okay, all right, it's all done. You can see here. So it's a private repository. So the moment you're able to successfully clone a private repository, you know you're in. Your computer is now configured for Git, just like that. Okay, that's done now. Next, what I want to do is I check my folder and I see that, yes, I have that repository ready. It's looking good. Okay, so here what I want to do is, before I do anything, I want to install VS Code. Okay, so where is that PowerPoint thing? Since Microsoft messed up the local desktop installation, let's use the web version. So next step is to setting up VS Code. VS Code is my favorite editor. I need some water. Hello. So VS Code is by far my #1 editor. So let's go ahead and get the VS Code installed on this machine. Again, I got lucky with this. All my computers, the first thing I do is configure Gitbash and VS Code. But this computer just came from repair, and I happen to start streaming from this week. So it's nice. Okay, there we go. Okay, the download should start. All right then. Just like Gitbash, VS Code also, please keep it to defaults when you're installing it. It's okay. Nothing wrong with it. Keep it to defaults. If you want to mess around later on your next computer or after a few months, once your coding skills have improved. Okay, I want this enabled. Open with, very important. Please enable that. Very much important. This is the part a lot of people forget this. They're in a rush. Now I know I say keep it to defaults, but in this page, okay, I'm changing my tune. Do enable the option open with code. So just make sure all of them are checked. If you want an icon, of course, check this as well. I don't want it right now, so I'll uncheck it. But yes, don't leave defaults here. On this page, please do checkbox the 4 bottom things. Very important. All right then. Okay, just checking on my second monitor that everything is fine, drop frames, stuff like that. And checking on my another computer as well, making sure that the stream looks good. Okay, everything is okay. Lighting is also okay. All right, okay, so there we go, ready to install. There are other editors. I can't think. Sublime, I think some people mention it. My friend in Finland, he talks about Rider. I don't know, Rider or something. There are other editors as well, but I use VS Code, so I don't need to launch it right now. It's okay. Click finish. So that was the second step. Second step is setting up VS Code. So we have done that. We've done this too. So now we can use them together. Now the last thing I want to do today is to just run a simple project and to see how it looks on Firefox. So let's do that. So I'm gonna call it setup Firefox. I mean, you don't have to set up Firefox, you just install it. But what I mean is set up Firefox and run a simple hello world project. That's what I really mean. Okay, now for this, what I want to do is I'm gonna go here, but first, before that, let's do something with VS Code. So I'm gonna right click here and I have an option to do this. See, this is what I'm talking about. So before you begin, very important, as a first-time learner, I mean, these sessions are mainly for people who have never done any coding before. You want to make sure you have Git GUI option, Gitbash option, and then open with code. These 3 things, yes, there are alternatives to this, but these 3 things, they should be there. They'll make your life very easy. So now I'm inside the repository, very important. You have to be inside the repository and right click on this and then open this in VS Code. The first time the VS Code launches, it'll be in black color. I know a lot of coders, you're gonna trust the code, it's fine, it's your own code. They like the black color. I mean, I'm from the 80s and 90s, I like white color, so I'm gonna take the light Visual Studio. And also my eyes are not as good as they are, so I prefer to read and write, black on white is better for me. So I keep it this way. And there it is. So that's all I wanted. And now what I want to do is I want to sign in. I want to do settings sync. because I use many computers. So I like to set in sync. I like to sign with GitHub. I mean, my GitHub and Microsoft account, they are linked anyway. So one of these two is fine, but I'm going to go with GitHub, sign in with GitHub. Okay. And this is another thing I want to talk about. Since you're just starting your coding journey, try and use GitHub everywhere. I mean, try and use your GitHub account everywhere. You know, use it in VS Code, use it here for your JIT, obviously, but use it in other places as well. Like, I mean, eventually at some point, I suppose we'll end up using Microsoft Azure. Again, use your GitHub account or the same email address you use for GitHub. It's very important that you have the same email address for all your coding activities. It really helps you in the long run. Okay, so just remember that. Either use your GitHub account everywhere or use that same email address everywhere. Please, it will help you. Trust me on that. You can have many email addresses for all kind of other things you may be up to, but for coding, keep one account. At least one account for learning. Okay, so this is fine. So there we go, and that's open, and I think we are signed in. Now there it is. Setting syncs is happening. That's good. So we are going to wait for that. These things take a while. This is another thing I'm going to talk about, and I'll probably repeat this on a regular basis. Programming is a lot of waiting. It's a lot of waiting, so if you don't have patience, you need to learn patience. And while we are talking about patience, programming is a long, like a marathon thing. It's not like a single day event. So if you're jumping into this, I hope you have a lot of time at your disposal. I normally recommend anywhere from 10 to 20 hours of dedicated coding time. When I was a kid, I'm old, I'll give a lot of flashback in these sessions. I would code 10 hours, 20 hours, sometimes 30 hours, 40 hours. If I didn't have time, I would just make it. So yes, if you don't have time, then I don't know. I mean, unless you're some kind of a super genius or something, in which case you don't need me to tell you anything. But for everyday average guys like me and you, yeah, effort is the only thing that helped me, and that's probably the only thing that will help you as well. So you should have a lot of patience. You should have a lot of time at your disposal. See, the sync is still going on. I have a pretty good internet. I have a pretty powerful computer here. Still, it takes a while. So patience. Patience. Very important. Okay, while that is happening, let me see what is going on with the with my other computers. So okay, I'm keeping an eye on my dashboard monitor. So I have my Twitch studio. I'm not using OBS. I'm not using any other software. I thought I'll keep this simple. You know, I'm using the official software. They say it's in beta and whatnot. It's been in beta for years. In my opinion, it's pretty stable. I'll find out, you know, after a few weeks or months of streaming, if I'm still doing this. I'll try to switch to OBS or buy one of the paid software. I'm fine with it. I'm sure it'll be a subscription of some sort or a license of some sort. Should be okay. Oh, what's going on? Oh, something is happening. It says check logs for... Oh, something is not right. What is the problem? Is my internet down by any chance? Okay, let me just check that. It can't be. The streaming is still on, so... Oh, hello. Okay. It's not the internet, so maybe I should just try it again. Okay, turn on settings sync. Okay, turning on. Okay, let's give it a try, see what happens. It doesn't seem to like it. Now this is what I'm talking about. I'm glad this is happening because this happens a lot. Yeah, you think something is working out, but you know, it doesn't work the way you want it. That's just how these things happen. There's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, it's a simple sign in sync, and yet here we are. See, it's not working. See, it's not working. Yeah, I did reset the local sync state. It says it doesn't like it. Yeah, I'm trying to sign in and turn on. It says sign in, and nope, it doesn't like it. Okay, maybe I can sign out and try again. Okay, it's trying again. Okay. Oh, it was doing, I clicked too many times. Oh, right. Okay, we'll let it do its thing, see what happens. We'll let it do its thing. We'll let it do its thing. I clicked too many times, so now there are multiple sign-in activities going on. So there we go. But this is essentially what I was talking about. You know, you think these things are simple enough, you know, why should you have any kind of roadblocks? But this is what we see every time. You know, something which we assume is going to happen, it won't happen, and then there are all kind of errors which may or may not help. But this is essentially programming. It's a lot of waiting. Yeah, first the PowerPoint goes down on the computer. I mean, I still have the blank white slate. See, look at that. Office has gone down. There are a lot of people discussing it on the internet. Where did that go? There are a lot of people just discussing about it. Like, you know, it doesn't work. Ah, there it is. Yeah, see, the Office app displays widescreen. Started on September 4th. And so far, it doesn't seem like there is an answer or a solution. There are some volunteers trying to help. Okay, let me see my sync again, and maybe this is related, you know, because fail. Yeah, sync is not working. I guess I'll just try it later after some time. So, oh, it's still trying. Okay, is that another thing which is not working anymore? Is that what's happening? Today may be an issue of lot of issues with Microsoft. I don't know. Let me see. VS Code sync fails. Could be an ongoing issue, could be a new issue, I don't know. Okay, that can't be it. It's still trying to do something. Okay. Alright, we'll let that do its own thing. It's fine. So what I really wanted to do was I wanted to try some basic JIT commands. Okay, I was hoping to show how nice setting sync is, but today is not a good day. So many problems. So many problems. Again, technology, when it works, it's great. When it doesn't work, it is what it is. Okay. So the best way to get a hang of Git is okay, so the best way to get a hang of Git is, let's see, so this is session 1. Okay, now you type something, and now type something. Okay, there we go. And now I have did something. The first command you want to remember is git space add space dot. This adds all the changes for committing. Then you do a simple commit. Okay, it says, there we go. This is another thing you have to do one time when you get your computer. So let's copy paste that and put it there. And what you want to do is you want to be very careful. You have to go between these double quotes very carefully and type in the email address that you used for your GitHub. That's the first step. And then you want to again very carefully copy that line and paste it, but don't press enter yet. Go within the codes and give whatever nickname you want to use. These things will get added whenever you do a commit. So that's what this is about. So this is again a step you have to do the first time you run the git command, especially git commit. Alright, so try git commit again. Okay, there it is. It says everything is looking good. Now I want to say git status. It's not saying anything because VS Code hasn't enabled autosave. So we are going to go here and autosave. Very important when you're coding, autosave. Another thing I want you to do is go to view and you have something called minimap. I hate the minimap. You know what the minimap is? You see on the right side here, this bizarre window. Some people like it, I definitely don't. So please switch it off because it takes up space on the screen. It's annoying as hell. So I'm gonna go to view and then minimap. It's gone. Oh, thank God. I really don't like it. Okay, minimap is gone. Okay, so now let's come back and try to do commit. So I have git status. There it is. Then I'm gonna say git space add space dot. Then git status again. Git commit. Okay. And here the commit message is usually 2 sentences. I mean, there are other ways to commit, but this is the style I follow. First step, like just getting started, just a message I want to type, and then I press enter twice. I'm going to say, okay, beginning my Twitch streaming lessons. Hope it works out. Hope I'm still doing it in a few months down the line. I like to take God's blessings when I try something new, so I'm gonna type that. I hope that's okay. Lately I've been becoming a little spiritual or religious. I guess when you get older you start becoming that. I suppose that's natural. So press escape and then shift colon and then WQ. W is for save, Q is for quit. I'll repeat these git commands on a regular basis, so it's alright if you don't get a hang of it right away. Okay, and then there it is. Now it says everything is ready. So I'm going to go ahead and say git push, and the code is now added. Now you want to wait for this 100% message. Right now you're just committing one file, but once you start working on projects, you'll have dozens of files, sometimes hundreds of files being committed. So you want to wait for that. A lot of people, you know, like they're in a rush, they forget to check for it, and then later they find out the code was never committed, or it could be a internet issue like this whole sync thing. You might not notice that there's an error waiting for you, and you might miss it. So it's always a good idea to wait for that to become 100%. So now that it's done, one other thing I like to do is once I do a commit, I usually go to my repository, just reload it, just make sure the commit happened. And see, there it is. It says a commit was done 2 minutes ago. This is what I typed before committing, so that's there. And if I go here, it shows my name and everything. See? So this is what we did a minute ago, you know, like your name and everything. So that's what this is all about. So there you go. That's it. That's what it is. This part. The email address you entered. Okay? So this means, now the idea is if you have reached this stage, before I run a project, just to give you an idea about how VS Code and Firefox work together and all that. This, if you come this far on your machine, that means you got your GitHub working, you have Gitbash working, you configured your Git account on your computer, you installed VS Code, and you also know how to use your browser and everything. So the next thing what I want to do is I have this repository here. I call it front end for students. Okay. Now this one. I'm going to clone this. Okay, it has a lot of JavaScript and web programming related code, so I want this right now. So I'm going to go back to my Git repos. Now please remember, don't clone another repository inside an existing repository. Please don't do that. So come back to your main Git repository folder, and here I want to clone. So I want to go ahead and right click, and you can do git bash. That's one way of doing it. Another way is you can go to the top, type cmd, the command line, and you can clone here also. The same thing, the same git things. Both do the same thing. I prefer using git bash. You may prefer to use the command line. Whatever works for you. Whatever works for you. But I just want to show you that there is another way. So we'll wait for that. I have a lot of files in this one. Oh, there we go. The internet is working just fine today. So there we go. Alright then, so now here I go back to this one, and I'm going to keep this one here. Now if I look at this, you'll see that there are 3 folders. Now what I want is, I want a simple project to run right now. So I have in bootstrap Fi, I want, oh, there's this, this one. I want to try this one. So where is this? This one is here. Yes, bootstrap Fi template starter. This is the one. This is in front end for students. Okay, there it is. Go inside. Bootstrap for students. There it is. And then bootstrap 5. There it is. And then we want bootstrap 5 template starter. And there it is. This is the project I want to run right now. So what I'll do is, now remember, when you're messing around with repositories and stuff like that, you want to open that in Git. So that's window number 1, very important. So open that in window number 1. Okay, and then go back to the folder and open the actual project you want to experiment with and so on. So I want to go inside this, I want to go inside this, and I want to go inside bootstrap 5 template starter. So I want to open this also in a separate window. So 2 windows. Okay, this is very important when you're working in programming, especially in JavaScript. I always recommend you have 1 window open with the main repository. This is mainly for running your commands like git and stuff like that, and a second window which is where you will actually be running your project and so on. So this one I need to try something. So I think I was hoping this was done, the sync and things like that. Don't think it's going to work. Yeah, I think it's given up completely. Yeah, I was hoping, the good thing is, if you have done the sync, if the sync had worked, all the necessary tools that I use would have been installed. I was hoping to not do that manually because sync takes care of it, but now it doesn't look like sync is working. I'm gonna give it one last try. Okay, nope, setting syncs is just stuck there. Let me give it one more try. Let me close this. Let me close VS Code here. Let me close VS Code here. Okay, let me go back to the front end option. Let me try opening this. Okay, there we go. Now I'm gonna give this one last try. Okay, here goes nothing. Maybe I should just use the Microsoft account. You know what, let me do that. Hold on. Okay, all right, it's giving it one more try. All right, it's trying. It's trying. We'll wait for it. Maybe the traffic manager, that website is down, maybe. Could be. Okay, let's see, it's trying something. It's trying. I don't know why while it tries, let's continue with our work. So we don't have to wait for these things. They happen on separate threads, so that's fine. So I have one window open for my repository, and I need another window for the project I'm trying to open, which is going to be, yes, it's going to be Bootstrap for Students, Bootstrap 5, and then this is the one I want to run. So I'm going to right click here and open this also in VS Code. Okay, there we go. Now what I want is, I was hoping the sync would have installed everything I need, but that's not the case. So I'm using this thing called Live Server. It's a very simple extension. Whoa, what is this, man? What's going on today with Microsoft? Search is not working? Oh, it's working now, thank God. So there's this thing called Live Server. It's good. Okay, so I'm gonna try and install this. A lot of people use this. I use this as well. I mean, once you move on to React.js or Node.js development, you have automatic way of doing these things. But here, for now, this is good. This is good enough for us. So I have the extension installed and enabled. That's good. I'll go back here, and now what I want to do is, I have this file. We'll leave all these things for today. We just want to run it. So I'm gonna go here and I just hit on Go Live. So there we go, that's the button, Go Live. And this is another important milestone in your learning. So you need to make sure that the Go Live button shows up, which is needed for the first few hours of learning of coding, or probably for the entire duration of this sessions, because I'll be using this a lot. So there you go, click on this button and it will immediately try and run. There it is, that's it. That's the website, it's running. Now it's running on Microsoft Edge. I do like Edge, you can see here, I use it a lot. But I prefer Firefox for debugging and stuff like that. So let me get this link, close it off here, and go to Firefox. And I want to drag this out to a separate window. Make it bigger. I'll tell you why in a minute. And now, I just got this photo from this guy. I've credited him here. So this is the person on Unsplash. Okay, there we go. So this guy took the photo from this person. A lot of attractive photos going on there. So I'm going to close this for now. So there you go. I got this photo from this guy. So I just put it there. I got some sentences from Sherlock Holmes, some HTML and bootstrap and so on. So there it is. That's about it. That's all there is to it. And another thing you want to do is with Firefox, click here, go to more tools and developer tools. Usually the tools come on the bottom. I don't like it that way. I prefer it side by side. So go here and Doctorite. And now I try to change the size depending on what I'm working on. Like if I want more information on the right side, I make this as big as I want, but right now I'm going to keep it in the center, which is good enough. And usually depending on what I'm working on, I have a different tab open. Like if I'm practicing JavaScript, obviously I'm going to go with the console. If I'm practicing API calls and stuff, I go to the network tab. If I'm looking for debugging, I go to debugger. If I'm looking for CSS and HTML, I go to the inspector. I also have this here, so you can move the mouse and select what you want. I'm not great shakes on CSS and HTML, but I know just enough to build things like this and so on. But primarily these sessions, I'm hoping to spend more time on JavaScript. Okay, and that is the story. And I think, yes. Oh, it's trying to sync. Okay, let's replace local. Yeah, these pop-ups, they never explain what exactly will do what. So what I want to do is I want to replace local. Okay, it's working. Oh, yes. Yes. I think it's working. I hope it's working. There it is. This is why I love sync. You know, it installs all the things I want. It installs everything I need. There you go. That's it. Boom. Oh man, I like this. Everything I need, it gets automatically installed. I love the sync options. Yes, sir. Good. Very nice. Good. Okay, all the necessary tools getting installed, getting synced. Nice. Okay, that's it. I think it's done. Sync is on. Settings is on. Okay, sync is on. Okay. There's another option to sign in for GitHub Copilot. I did use it when it was free. I had a free trial and all, but I can't pay $10 every month just to use AI. My work is not that dependent on AI yet, but in the future I might end up using it. You know, I might end up using GitHub Copilot. I did like it though. I use the trial a few hours every now and then. It is useful, but not that useful, or I'm not that rich that I can pay $10 for it. So we'll leave that Copilot thing as it is for now here in the bottom left corner. So there you go. That's all there is to it. So my plan today, I hope Microsoft fixes this Office thing. I was really bummed that I couldn't use PowerPoint, but I'm also happy that I was able to use PowerPoint here, you know, directly on the backup option. Where is that? There it is. So there you go. That's what today was all about. This is like a beginning for me. I mean, I wanted to, because this computer was new, I was able to show you how to set up GitHub. And you saw all the roadblocks you'll face as a developer. I mean, I've been coding for since I was 15, I'm almost 40 now. So I've been coding I'm just adjusting my table. Sorry, I'm not doing anything under the table, just adjusting it. I've been coding for 20, 25 years now, and every now and then something always breaks down. That's what happened today. First the Office stopped working, then the PowerPoint stopped working, and then VS Code Sync didn't work. So many interruptions. But still, I was able to discuss how to set up GitHub, how to set up Gitbash, how to use Firefox, how to run the live server thing, make the website run, how to open developer tools, sign in, create a repository, so many things. It is a lot for a first session, but luckily I think the session is getting recorded, so you should be able to watch it again and again. I think there's a download option somewhere. You could probably download the video or something. But yes, these are the basics. Okay, now unfortunately I can't do these steps again because this is a one-time thing. So hopefully you're able to get these things sorted. Now my plan is a simple one. I want to teach. I have some free time in my pocket, and I always wanted to teach for just teach. I mean, I get paid to teach, of course, yes, but I also wanted to teach. Like I wanted to open like a free classroom. I still hope to someday, but until I can open a free classroom where I can teach people and stuff like that, this Twitch channel should do. I got the setup here, I got the lights, I got the camera, I got the microphone, I got a desk just for streaming, I got a computer just for streaming. I spent a lot of money on all these things. It took me a lot of time. I'm not as wealthy as I used to be. The pandemic ensured that I had a lot of financial problems. I'm recovering from it now. So yes, this is something I wanted to do for a while, but I was hoping to do it in real life, like a real classroom where people who can't afford tutoring, they can come and just take the class, a top quality tutoring without having to spend anything. For those who can't afford it, for those who can afford it, sure, they can go and pay and get stuff. But I always wanted to do something without any charges. So for now, I'm gonna settle down with this Twitch channel thing. I don't know if I'll be able to make this work, like do it regularly, but I'm gonna try. I've spent months setting up everything, so I've waited a long time to do this. So yeah, there it is. That's all there is to it. Now, how do I wrap up? I don't have a style yet. This is just the second demo session in almost 2 years. So what I would say is, yeah, I mean, my only thing is, yes, just find me on the internet. Just, Google my name. I use Bing. I know some people don't like Bing. I love Bing. So just Google my name. That's my name right there. Just Google my name and then just go to my page. I have my GitHub account. I'm on Medium. Go to my Medium, follow me on Medium. What else you can do for me? You could go to my LinkedIn. You can follow me on LinkedIn. You can add me or join to follow. It's up to you, please. That's okay with me. I have a book on Amazon. It's a very boring, dull, short, like a 30-page short story. You could read that. What else can you do for me? Yeah, you could go to my resume. You can check out my resume. It's on my GitHub account, of course. You could you could hire me on Upwork. Yeah, this is my account on Upwork. You could hire me on Upwork. Yes, if you have some work, you want some one-to-one session, please hire me on Upwork. Hire me on Fiverr. Why not? No, I'm on Fiverr as well. You could hire me on Fiverr. Where else I'm at? You could go to my GitHub account as well. You could follow me. You could star my repositories. Yeah, these are the things you can do if you like it, and of course, come back. Just follow me on Twitch as well and see where it goes. Yeah, there you go. That's all there is to it about me, and yeah, that's all there is to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. So yeah, so I'm just gonna wrap it up here, and I will see whenever the next session happens. I need a page for wrapping up. I don't have a page for wrapping up on my Twitch. I just realized that. I gotta make a note of it. Hold on. I'm making notes. I'm just becoming better, just making notes. I need a wrapping up page. Okay, I'm just making notes. I'm hoping to kind of let this Twitch streaming thing evolve over time. So yeah, wrapping up page. I need it on the Twitch. Right now I don't have it, so I'm just gonna end the streaming just like that. But by the next video, I'm sure I will have a page that says, okay guys, goodbye or something. Okay, take care.